everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Melissa and I make a ton of beauty videos. So this series is my drugstore versus high-end series where I compare drugstore products or cheaper products to more expensive, high-end type of products. And today's video is going to be a little bit different than the previous videos because it's going to be on brushes. So if you like these kinds of videos, dupe videos, stuff like that, I will link my playlist down below where you can check out. I have compared blush and contour kits and setting powders and eyebrow pencils and just a whole bunch of stuff. So today I figured I would venture into the brush zone. Okay, so I probably look a little weird, a little bit pasty, and that's because I'm not wearing any cheek makeup or bronzer at all, which is a staple for me because I'm so pale, but that's because these are bronzer brushes. So this is the Marc Jacobs The Bronze Bronzer Brush. This brush I use every single day. I love it so much. It is the most amazing brush ever, but it is quite pricey. I think it was like $79 or something crazy like that. I got it at Sephora. It's like the most perfect brush for bronzing because it's big and fluffy. It covers a lot of surface area with just a little bit of work. It's dome shaped, so you kind of have a little bit of a more precise point. Domey point, if you want to even call it that. It's nice and dense, and it's like the best. I haven't been able to find a bronzer brush that's better than this. And then when I was at Fame Expo last year, I was at the Morphe Brush counter and I saw this. So this is the Morphe G0 brush, or G0. I'm not really too sure. I will link both of these down below if you want to check them out. This was right around $10, no more than $10. I think it was like $8. I also got a little bit of a discount because I was at a makeup expo, but it was like $10 at the most. And when I saw this, immediately I was like, oh my gosh, that looks just like the Marc Jacobs brush, like just like it. Look at them. I mean, this one's a little bit more fluffy because I've used it so much more, but when I first got this, it looked just like this. It was a little bit more like dense and compact, but it has the dome shape. It's the same kind of density. Even the handles look very similar where they're kind of like angled right here. This one has a round tip, but that really doesn't matter. They look so similar. So I was like, you know what? I'll bet that's a dupe. So we're gonna test it out today. Okay, so for bronzer, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. This is my all-time favorite bronzer. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I love this bronzer like so much. It's matte, it's perfect for fair skin, and it smells like chocolate. So I'm going to use the Marc Jacobs brush on the left side of my face, and I'm going to use the Morphe brush on the right side of my face, and we're gonna see how they work. So for bronzer, I really like to just pack my brush full of product, and then I start on my cheeks. So I'll start kind of like right here in the hollows of my cheeks, all the way down to pretty much the corner of my mouth. So I start there, and then connecting that, I go right here to my jawline and down my neck. And if I'm wearing a shirt where you can see my décolleté, I will also bronze that. And that is because I am super pale and I just need the extra bronzing. So if I feel like I need a little bit more, I'll go back and I'll put a little bit more. There you go. And then the last thing I do is my hairline. So I'll start right here and I'll go to the temples and just kind of connect everything together and basically bronze like the outer part of my face, kind of like framing my face with bronzing powder. So there is the right side, or the left side. So this is the high-end brush, remember, Marc Jacobs, $80. But it's amazing, right? You can see how quick that was, how like fast that was. And now we're gonna go to the right side of my face and use the Morphe brush. So it's nice and clean. We're gonna do the same thing. It's definitely a little bit more like dense, and I think again that's because I haven't used this brush before, so it's just not quite as like fluffed out. But I'm gonna do the same, and I'm gonna start here. It's a little bit more rough feeling, if that makes any sense. Like I feel like it's not quite as fluffy and like dispersing the product quite as like evenly and fully as the Marc Jacobs brush is, but it definitely has a very similar feel. And the last step will be right here. Well, I'm looking in the mirror right now and I can tell a little bit of a difference. This side looks a little bit darker and just a little bit more color, and this side looks a little bit more like condensed color, if that makes sense. Like it, and I think, again, I think it's because this brush is just a little bit more like, the bristles are a little bit more smooshed together, whereas this one is a little bit more like fluffed out. But other than that, they worked pretty dang similarly. I think once I've used this one enough and I fluff it out enough, it's probably going to look exactly like the Marc Jacobs one. But for the most part, it applied the bronzer the same. I don't feel like I had to work any harder or any longer for this one to do the same exact thing. And it's a pretty dang good dupe. So this was a good find. I will definitely link it down below for you because, yeah, why not save yourself like $60, $70 plus and just get something that's a little bit more budget friendly. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face and then I will be right back. Okay, so here's what it looks like with a full face of makeup. I put some contour on, so for contour I used my trusty Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and then for blush and highlight I used this baby right here, the Becca and Jaclyn Hill Champagne Glow palette. So honestly, you can't tell the difference. I think they applied the bronzer beautifully, very, very similarly. There might be a little bit of differences here and there, but for the most part, I mean, this is a pretty good dupe. So that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you want me to test out next. I was thinking sponges because I have the Real Techniques like Beauty Blender dupe and then the actual Beauty Blender. So I was thinking of doing that, but let me know if you have thoughts on something else you want me to test down below, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.